Hi, it's Rick Turnquist here, and I want to talk about the recently concluded, or not concluded, 2020 election. Who stayed up past midnight on election night? I didn't. Once they stopped counting votes in Pennsylvania, I knew the final results wouldn't be in that night. And I had to be in the radio studio the next morning at 6 a.m. Trump was behind the Electoral College that night, the one that counts. Though ironically, he was ahead in the mythical popular vote for a considerable period of that evening. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting a Trump landslide, but I did expect him to win easily. The enthusiasm I saw for President Trump over the last couple of months here in my home state of Colorado is quite high compared to the complete lack of enthusiasm for Joe, the big guy, Biden. When we looked at the results of the election on Wednesday morning, we saw that the presidential race still hadn't been decided, and as of this taping this morning, Friday morning the 6th, it still hasn't been decided. And while we had good results nationally, Colorado was in ruins. Not only did the Democrats in Colorado pick up a state Senate seat, they kept their near supermajority in the state House. We lost a statesman in U.S. Senator Cory Gardner, who lost to an ethically challenged, washed-up former governor who didn't even want the job. We said it's okay to kill preborn babies over 22 weeks old, and yes to apex predators being introduced to the western slope. We gave ourselves a tax cut, and yet we raised taxes on cigarettes and vaping. Worst of all, we voted a new tax on ourselves in the form of a paid family and medical leave program. People I know have already moved away from Colorado, and other people I know are talking about moving away from Colorado and trying to decide where to go. And in another predictable pattern, Colorado Republicans are scratching their heads and trying to figure out why we got walloped again. Is it because we had bad candidates? No, I don't think so. Was it the fault of party leadership? Maybe. Was it due to voter fraud or other election shenanigans? Possibly, but I don't have any evidence of that. After we lost the 2018 election, I participated in a meeting of activists. The purpose of the meeting was to understand how we had lost so badly and to come up with a plan for winning the next election. I put together a presentation for that meeting called The Progressive Advantage: Why Colorado is in Trouble. It reviews the permanent infrastructure created in Colorado by the Gang of Four, as documented in the book The Blueprint: How Democrats Won Colorado and Why Republicans Everywhere Should Care. The bottom line is this: the progressive left has a tremendous advantage over our conservative libertarian side because of their progressive infrastructure. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Another reason why I think the GOP is in such bad shape in Colorado is because the Democrats seem to be able to bury their differences and work together to achieve their goals. Democrat primary battles can be spirited, but they don't seem to descend to the level of personal attacks and hatred that I'm used to seeing in Republican primaries. And with the Democrats, when the primary is over, the loser pledges to support the winner, and they work together to achieve their progressive agenda. That's been my observation, may not be true in all cases. In the Blueprint, the authors, Whitwer and Schrager, describe how the Gang of Four formed the Round Table to discuss strategies. This group had one ground rule, and that was they did not discuss policy, but they focused solely on strategy and on winning elections, and they were very successful. If you want to understand why Colorado has become a blue nightmare, read The Blueprint, or at least my review of it. Read The Progressive Advantage and its companion piece, The Progressive Advantage-Money, which talks about how Colorado progressives have access to a nationwide network of donors and how in the election of 2018 a significant amount of out-of-state money helped flip the state Senate from red to blue. Is Colorado lost, or can the Colorado Republican Party stop the bleeding and turn the state around? After the 2018 election, I observed that the left owns the ground game, most of the mainstream media and social media in Colorado. The left has a hard core of committed activists who in turn recruit and solicit others. They are willing to get out and do the legwork to get their candidates elected. They have activists who tirelessly run social media accounts, particularly on Twitter. And we have manners. We're not going to mob a town hall or shout down elected Democrats, for example. To reclaim Colorado, we need a visionary group to facilitate the change, similar to the left's Gang of Four. We need something like New Era Colorado to engage the 18 to 30 demographic. We need a program similar to Emerge Colorado to recruit and train candidates for office, not just one gender or color, but anyone committed to liberty and limited constitutional government. We need more volunteers at the grassroots level to engage friends and neighbors. We need to engage voters between elections, not just in the weeks leading up to one. We need a rapid response infrastructure to fight against legislation and prepare for coming legislative sessions, and to train people on how to testify for and against legislation. More importantly, we need to build bridges and bridge the gaps between the establishment Republicans, the libertarian wing, the social conservative wing, the grassroots, and the suburban soccer moms who want social justice, good schools, and safe streets. We need to build a bridge to the Libertarian Party. We need to focus on winning elections, not ideological purity or who is the most right. And finally, we need to stop fighting with each other. Join me today in working to reclaim Colorado. You can reach me on my website, https://www.toadvancefreedom.com. Let's turn the tide and reclaim our state before it's too late. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thank you.